Be'ezus Hashem, today's Amud is Daf Zayin Amud Beis. We're holding a middle of Torah Vav. So till now we learned in Torah Vav that every person has to be memait in his own kavod and be marbe b'chvod hamakom. And in such a way you're zeichet to something called kavod l'kim. But in order to be zeichet to that kavod, you have to do tshuva. And the way you do tshuva is by when you hear bizyonin, you daimim v'shaisek in the face of the bizyonis. And that's shechsi yitzhahara. The person has to constantly be doing tshuva, because every time you do tshuva, even though you shech the Yitzhahara, every time you're quiet in the face of bizyonis, still, every time you do it, there's still a little bit gaiva left over from the last time. So you keep on doing tshuva until you come to a point that you're doing tshuva on the hasaga that you previously had. That before I did tshuva with a certain hasaga I have in Hashem, and now that I did tshuva, I have a higher hasaga, so I'm doing tshuva now. And the fact that I served Hashem till now with an older hasaga, with a lower hasaga, and we explained that the hasaga being masik Hashem's gedula and his rachmanis. We said a person has to be able to go in the ways of tshuva, which is baki beratzei, baki b'shoyiv. That whether you're going on aliyah or yerida, then you always find Hashem and metzak shemaim shemata v'atzil sheli nako. And the way you do that is through being memait b'chod atzmi habas b'chod hamakom. That way, when I'm aliyah or yerida, it doesn't affect me. I'm always able to serve Hashem. And we say this whole thing is connected in the tzur of the Ois Aleph. The Aleph has a yud on top, a yud on bottom with a vav in the middle, and the kuda yud and the kuda tachton and the vav. So they said that's like a sun and a moon. A sun shines into the moon in the vav, which is the sky. Or Moshe is shining into Yeshua, teaching Yeshua through the oil ma'id, which is a vav. It's also the baki b'ratzai, which is giving kayach to the baki b'shoiv, or it's the kayach of always doing tshuva on my previous asagis, which is being meir into the kayach to be able to be daimim v'shaisek in the face of bizyonis. So this is pshat in the Ma'amar Rabbi Chana. Rabbi Chana says he was once going in the midbar and he saw geese that their feathers were falling off because they're so fat, and a river of oil was coming out from underneath them. So the Rebbe explains that the feathers were coming off of geese. Geese is chachma, because it says Chazal roya avas b'chaloim. Someone sees a goose in a dream, yitzapel chachma. So and chachma shtika, siagla chachma shtika. So the Rabbi Khan says he saw people who were being quiet in the face of bizyonis. What are bizyonis? The noitzitz, the feathers, that the feathers are falling off of them. The noitzitz is in of fighting. Why? Because the kinatsu anoshim. So you say that the feathers were falling off. There were shmita, there were shamut from them. Why? Because they were so fat, which means the fat means that they wanted to do tshuva on their gashmias. They felt because of the samagushim, they need to do tshuva, and the way they do tshuva is by letting all machlekes and the fighting that happens to them fall off of them. So, and because of this, rivers of oil came out from underneath them. Oil is the inyan of shemen mishcha, which is the way the mashicha, the way we anoint kings is with oil. So it's the inyan of melech hakavod. That's the inyan of a kavod elikim. So Rabbi Chana says that he told these geese that I have a chilek together with you in Elam Haba, which means that the inyan of tshuva of Elam Haba, which we explained before, that tshuva is Elam Haba, because in Elam Haba, the main Elam Haba is we keep on getting higher and higher sagas in Hashem, and that's also tshuva, to keep on coming to higher sagas in Hashem. So one of them lifted up its leg, so that the Rebbe says that's the inyan of the Ayat HaDairagaloi, that's the Nukuda Tachton of the Aleph. The other one lift up its wing, which that's like the Nukuda Yona of the Aleph, to tell Rabbi Chana that he also has these bechenes. And they said Asidin Israel Litin Lemasadin, that Rabbi Lezer says that these geese will asid in Israel Litin Lemasadin. The inyan of din is the inyan of Adam Yoshev Akise, because we said that the Ois Aleph was what makes an Adam. A person is a mensch, a person is an Adam when he has these nekudas, the kuda yonah, the nekuda tachton avav, the bakirati, bakbishoiv, tshuva, and dimim shtika. It said that's connected to the three mitzvahs which nitztavu Yisrael when they came into Eretz Yisrael. The hachar zal shal malek, the manis la melech, and livness lambesa bechira. To be mechal azar shamalek, that's the nukud tachtaina, which is the demim and shtika. That's the shecht and the yitzhara, and the manis lamelech is that's the vav, the derech koichem yaakov. That's the vav, which is the shemayim, the stars. And livness lambesa bechira to build beis hamikdash. That's nukud elyoina. That's the nukud elyoina, which is Moshe, the das. That through the das, which of the top of the aleph, was shining to the shechting of the yitzhara of demim and shtika through the vav, and that's the pasuk Yamashal Moshe Kshras Yeshua. Moshe is a kula yana who's calls to the Yeshua of Yitzatzu Oil Moed in the Oil Moed. So the Rebbe explains, the Rebbe Nosson explains, and I suffer this Torah now, that all of this is connected to the kavanas of Elul. And the kavanas of Elul are hanoisin b'yom darach. That the Ari says we have to take the inyan of derech and to shine it into the yam. So what's derech? Derech is the gematria of 224, which is twice the Shem Hashem Yud Beis Kuf. The Shem Hashem Yud Beis Kuf, which comes from the gematria of different Shemus of Hashem when they're put together. So, in this context, there are two Shemus of Hashem. There's a Shem which we call the Shem Kasa, and there's another Shem called Sag. Kasa is if you take the Shem Ekye and you write it out, Aleph Lamed Fe Aleph, and K Yud, and Yud Vav Dal and K Yud, and it comes out the gematria 161. And if you take the Shem Hashem and you write out Yud Vav Daled K with two hays, so that's called the Avaya B'Milui Hayin. Then it comes out gematria 63. So if you take those two together, then they come out gematria of Yud Beis Kuf together, which is the gematria of Derech. So if you take the Ari also says that if you take that shame of the 10 oisius of the Shem Ekya, when you spell it out and you put a segel under each of the oisius, and you take the Shem Hashem of Yud Ke Vav Ke with gematria Samach Gimel under the 10 oisius, you put a chirik, and together that means that the segel is made up of 3 dots, and each one is 10. And the chirik is as each one dot, which is also 10. So altogether, you have 300. Gematria 300. Take all the kudos of the Shem Kesa, and then altogether you have 100 with the Shem Sag with the chirik. So that's 400. So altogether you have the Shem Derech together with the 400. Now, the 400 is the gematria of Pshuta. So the Ari says when you have these two, when you have the derech, you have a Shem Kesa together with the Shem Sug, which is gematria Yud Beis Kuf, and you add up all the Likudas, so you also have 400. So Yamin Hashem Pshuta, the Kabbalah Chuvasei, because Yamin also is a gematria derech with the 3 ICs, Yud Vav Daled Mem, which is also twice Yud Beis Kuf. This till now, this is a Kavanas El that we find in the Sidari. Now, all of this is merumiz, everything that we learned in Torah Vav comes back into this Torah, because we learned in this Torah that a person has to be Baki B'Ratzoi, Baki B'Shoiv, Baki B'Ayel, Baki B'Nafik. We have to Mekayim a Mesach Shema Shema Otza V'Yatzir Sheli Neka. Now, the Perusha Pashut is that someone who wants to do tshuva, that he has to be always strong in the Avodas Hashem. Whether it's V'Aliyah, whether it's V'Yirida, he always needs to be Mekayim a Mesach Shema Shema Otza V'Yatzir Sheli Neka. That means whether he's Zeicha to any type of Aliyah, wherever Madrega is, he shouldn't stand there. He shouldn't stop there. He should keep on going in the Avodas Hashem. That's the Baki B'Ratzoi. And Baki B'Shoiv is the opposite. No matter how much a person falls, no matter how low, he should never be Messiah. He should always keep on looking for Hashem. So that's a Mesek Shemayim. Even if a person goes up to Shemayim, he knows Hashem is still there. Vatzir Shoel, even if he falls Chas v'Shalom down to Shoel, he knows Hineko, he knows Hashem is also here. He can become close to Hashem also. So with Hashem, in the next year, tomorrow, will be Mamshech, and we will explain more of the Kavanas Elul.